Jeff, I'd like to ask you about bike accidents, ordinary bikes, bicycles, or electric bicycles, accidents involving those types of things. First, how are those types of accidents the same as other types of personal injury accidents?
Well, you've got somebody that's responsible. We've got to prove somebody caused this harm and that they're liable. And then we have to make sure that our clients are getting the proper treatment, right? We've got an injury. We got to make sure they're taken care of, that we're documenting their lost wages and their medical treatment. And then we have to find coverage. Somebody has to pay for these damages. So we've got to go out and try to find coverages, build coverages, stack coverages on top of each other to provide as much policy coverages as we can.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. How are these kinds of cases, how are they different from other types of personal injury cases?
Well, the rules are similar, but not the same as, say, a pedestrian. A pedestrian's got to walk against traffic. A bike's got to ride with traffic. Sometimes there are bike lanes on roads that you have to stay in. Some roads don't have bike lanes at all. Sometimes people are riding on the sidewalk, right? You don't have cars riding on the sidewalk, but bikes you do, and sometimes they're riding through a park and a car will go flying off through a park and take somebody out. So, bikes they're just different. The nature is just different. And usually the injuries are pretty bad because you're pretty exposed if you're on a bicycle when a car hits you.
Like motorcycle accidents in that respect, there are no seat belts. There are very few fender benders, so people can be seriously injured as a result of these kinds of accidents.
Yeah, sometimes no helmets. So yeah, we want to get our investigators out there as soon as possible to be able to document, lines of sight, how far could people see, what was the car's view of these people, what time of day was it, was it raining, what were people wearing. A lot of different factors there that make these cases complicated.
Well, let me ask you this. So what should a person look for when they're trying to identify, the right personal injury law firm after a bicycle or electric bike case?
If you're just hiring somebody that does a normal personal injury case and has not done bicycle or e-bicycles, which is sort of a new nuance here, a little bit more like a moped type case, they're going to make mistakes because they're not going to understand all the different rules and all the different little facts that make a huge difference in these types of cases that we know to ask because we've done insurance defense. We've been on the other side of these cases, and we have investigative teams that go out and gather all this evidence.
Let me ask you this. When there's a person who has been involved in an accident on a bicycle or on an electric bike, I think a lot of people would think, do I need a lawyer to do this? It wasn't my fault. It was the other guy's fault. Maybe I could just do it myself, and then I can always call a lawyer later if it doesn't go the way I think. How would you respond to somebody like that?
Well, we need to get involved early because the evidence is gone. Sometimes the bikes are mangled and they're hauled off somewhere, and then we never get a photograph. Unless we've got our investigative team on it early, and the coverages are different. So if I'm in my car and I get hurt, I've got coverage on my car that can supplement the coverage for the guy, or person that hit me. In a bicycle case, I'm on my bicycle, right? So what people don't know is you can get coverage from your auto policy at home, even though you weren't driving your auto. You can get coverage from people that live with you that have an auto policy that are related to you at the time of the loss, and finding these extra coverages to protect you on a bike. If the other person doesn't have any insurance or doesn't have enough insurance, that can make all the difference in these cases.
So even a smart person, a person who's knowledgeable and has access to the internet and all, is not going to know exactly what evidence they need to collect, how they need to present it, and to whom they need to present it in order to maximize the value of these claims.
That's correct.
So if you or somebody you know has been injured in an accident involving a bicycle or an electric bicycle, call us and we'll answer your questions and make sure that your case is started right from the very beginning.